I have been 100% in games on YouTube since the start of 2025. However, I actually have been 100% in games on Xbox for a couple years now, so I figured, why don't we rank all of the games I have 100% in on Xbox so far? So as you can see, we have 21 games here, and we have our tier list right above me, and this one right here is going to be blurred, and you'll find out about that one later in the video. But we have 21 games right in front of us here, and we are going to be ranking all of them based off two categories. The first category is how enjoyable the game was. Not the 100%, just how enjoyable the game was. Was it a good game? That's a very important part. The second category is going to be how satisfying the 100% was. So if you have a game that has a super basic, really stupid 100%, that's not going to rank very high, because obviously that's not as satisfying as something that takes some skill or has more enjoyment to doing it. So that is how we are going to be ranking these, so let's just get right into the action. I really enjoyed Donut Counting, probably more than I should have. However, I don't think it was the best by any means. The 100% was kind of easy, you just kind of played through the story and did it, but the story was enjoyable. There was a lot of fun elements. The art style was very welcoming. I liked the humor in the game. Overall, I'd say it was a pretty solid game for me, so I think that we could put in B for right now. Now, this might change. Nothing is set in stone until we are done. So just to kick it off, we'll put it there. Our next game, on the other hand, making so many power moves, Eternal Strands. Now, if you don't know what Eternal Strands is, this game was made by, I think it's called Yellow Brick Studio or something like that. It was their first game they made. It was so fun. Dude, I don't know why I loved this game so much. I mean, it had elements of like Monster Hunter and Shadow of the Colossus, and it kind of mixed the two together. You'd fight different big robots or creatures, and you could climb on them and beat them up for material, and you could upgrade your gear. It had like a completely limitless crafting system to it. It was such a good game. The story was really good as well, and because of all those reasons, I put it at an S. Also, considering the achievements for this game were not the most difficult thing, but they still had a challenge to them. You felt like you were accomplishing something. It wasn't just, let me play and, you know, beat this level, get an achievement. Some of them were like that, but some of them were like you had to beat certain monsters in certain ways, or do so much damage, or have an armor have really high stats, and like, so you had to work for it a little bit. Also, I'm a little biased because on the True Achievements leaderboard, I am ranked number 5 for this game on Xbox, so there's also that. But this game, definite S tier for me. Was the 5th person on Xbox to 100% it. It is one of my favorites. Next up, we have a game that kind of requires a little bit of an asterisk next to it, because this is a 100% according to achievements. However, this game doesn't really have an end, and that game is Apex Legends. And I think Apex Legends, I would say it grants itself the state of where it's at now. I'd put it at C or D. When I did the 100%, it was probably more of like an A or B, but we're gonna put it at a high C right now. Apex Legends, very popular battle royale type game, and I did think it was a very enjoyable game to play. The 100% wasn't necessarily hard. You just had to win with different types of characters, be the jump master, which is like you kind of guide where your party lands. The combat felt very fun. I really did enjoy the combat of the game, and I enjoyed the battle royale style. However, it got very old. They started changing some things, and I fell away from it. So right now, it's not really my favorite game, but it was still good. So I don't have any complaints with it, really. Our next game we have is Beasts of Maravilla Island. And this game was a very neat little game that was more of a peaceful kind of photography adventure is how I'd describe it. You go through these different areas. There's like a forest, a desert, a couple other places that you explore, and you take pictures of all these beasts you find. And you also solve some puzzles in the process to really just kind of have this very unique and scenic experience. I did really enjoy this game. I think the 100% was kind of easy, but it fit the game, because the game was meant to be more of a peaceful, exploratory, fun kind of feel. You weren't really fighting monsters or stuff that you'd see in other games. So I think I'll put this one in B as well. Okay, on to Death's Door. Death's Door is one of those indie games that I feel like I will always remember, and that is partially because I 100%ed this game in under a week because it was leaving Game Pass at the end of the month and I had no time to do it. There's also some other things with it. I think Death's Door was a very fun game. The achievements were honestly challenging, but like in a very good way. Like I really enjoyed everything you had to do for it. A lot of it was upgrading your health, finding collectibles, but there was also, you had to beat the game using the worst weapon in the game, and I thought that like felt really enjoyable for the game because there wasn't a difficulty selection, so using the hardest weapon was kind of playing it on hard mode. So I honestly, I would put Death's Door at an A. I thought Death's Door was a very fun little indie game that just definitely gave you a lot of fun memories with boss fights and just exploring the worlds. Alrighty, next up, the most recent one, which the video is out on the channel, is Doom: The Dark Ages. Now, Doom: The Dark Ages was the only Doom game I've played in all of the Doom series, and I really did enjoy it. I liked the use of the shield. I've talked about it a lot. You could find the other videos, the shorts and stuff, but I really did enjoy Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm gonna put this as A as well. I thought all the achievements were very fun. I thought the gameplay was really fun. I liked the combat. I liked the speed. Some people said it was too slow. I don't know compared to other Doom games, but for me, I enjoyed it. The achievements were all fun. None of them were necessarily hard, but they all required you to really explore the game. All of them were for, you know, mastering every weapon. So you had to use every weapon. You had to, you know, beat all the bosses, beat all the levels, find all the secrets. Like, a lot of stuff that really just made you explore everything the game had to offer. So I really did enjoy it, and I'm happy giving it an A on the tier list. Moving over to our next game, we have Undertale. Undertale is a great game. I've played through Undertale probably 6 or 7 different times. I have done a Genesis route, I have done a pacifist route, and I've played it normally. I enjoy it almost every time I play it. However, the 100% was so lackluster on Xbox. Pretty much all the achievements were tied to either locations, so, you know, getting to the lava core, getting to the waterfall, stuff like that. And then the other achievements were donating to the dog shrine. Like, that's it. There were no achievements for bosses, no achievements for combat, weapons, level, Genesis, pacifist, nothing like that. Now, if you look on Steam, the game doesn't even have achievements, so I feel like Xbox, it was kind of a just shove them out, which is why I'm gonna give it a little grace, because at least it had achievements on Xbox. However, I think because the achievements were just not good, and it was just you played through the game and kind of did some random side stuff, I do think that hurts it, but I love the game a lot. So I'm a little biased. I'm gonna put it at a high B. Even though the 100% itself, let's switch those. Even though the 100% itself wasn't the best, the game is just, it's a classic. I love it. If you haven't played it, I'd recommend you try it. If it's not your type of game, I get it, but if it is your type of game, you'll love it. Next up, we have Grim Idol, which I am going to throw in D tier. If you don't know, Grim Idol is a very simple 8-bit type game where you pretty much upgrade your character and fight a bunch of enemies, monsters, to just progress through levels. It's a very simple idle game. There is some crafting with it, there's some upgrading you can do with it, and I think that is cool. However, it is an idle game. It is very face value, and it does not deserve to be higher on the list because of that. I don't think it's a bad game, but I think it is just way too simple to compete with some of these other games that are fully made out to be games. I did enjoy it, and I think it was a fun 100% to get. However, it was one of those that anyone could do, very simple idle game, and for that reason, I just don't think it deserves to be higher on the list. Next up, we have Lightyear Frontier. Lightyear Frontier is a very nice and relaxing farming indie game. It mixes, I almost want to say No Man's Sky to a very simple degree, mixed with, like, any farming simulator game you could think of. You grow crops, you have neighbors you can get moving in and trade with them to get animals. You have different regions to get different minerals. It's a very fun game, and you can play it with friends as well. My buddy Slayer of Dragons also 100%ed Lightyear Frontier with me, and together we ended up having this save file with a bunch of buildings, a bunch of crops, and it was a really fun game once you got into it. However, with all that being said, it's still in the process of developing, and I don't think it's fully out yet. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're still pushing out more updates and getting it to a full, complete release. So there are some parts where it feels a little empty in terms of story and also progression once you hit endgame stuff. However, I do think it's a very fun farming simulator, and for that, I'm gonna throw it in B tier. Risk of Rain 2. Now, Risk of Rain 2 is another one of my games that is just a favorite. However, Risk of Rain 2 is also one of those games that you could literally play forever. I have 100% of Risk of Rain 2 base game and both DLCs that have come with it. I have all the achievements, all the characters, all that fun stuff with the game, and I enjoy playing it. It's on my Xbox after years because I will go back and play a couple rounds, get like 6 hours into a run, and just waste a day, because it is one of those games that is very fun. The 100% wasn't too difficult, however it did have some challenges and it did require you to actually do specific things with characters, so I liked how they used most aspects of the game in their 100%, and that is why I'm putting it in A tier. South of Midnight is another game that came out earlier this year, and it was a beautiful game that told, I think, one of the best stories I've seen recently. It used a lot of elements from Southern folklore and brought to life some monsters and told a story about a girl trying to save her mom while fighting different monsters and also repairing people's broken pasts. And that's probably the best way I could say that. There's a lot of different stories of hardships and depressing situations of brothers who are bullied and animals who are abused, and it really just makes you think about things a lot, and it is so beautifully done, and I love almost every aspect of the story. This game is definitely another S tier for me. The 100% wasn't awful. A lot of it was getting all the upgrades, completing levels, and collectibles, which isn't a crazy 100% by any means. However, the game itself was so beautiful, like, I have to put it on S tier. Okay, we have Cocoon here, which is a kind of unknown game, I would say. It's a small little puzzle game that involves you entering different worlds that are layered on top of each other. As you can see in this picture here, you kind of get the idea of that, but pretty much one world could hold another world in it, which could hold another world. And you would have to go into one world to move something to affect the bigger world. The worlds were held in crystal balls, and you could transport one of the crystal balls into a different world to activate something else. It was a really unique puzzle game, and I honestly, I had some points where I was confused, but I actually was able to figure it out, so it is a very user-friendly puzzle game as well. The 100% for the game really wasn't anything special, I will say. However, I do think the game itself was just a very fun little puzzle game, so I'm gonna put it at B tier as well, and we're gonna put it below Donut County. Alrighty, I think I've made you guys wait long enough, so we are actually gonna do the blurred game here. Some of you might have figured it out with the color here, but this is none other than Bluey the video game. This game was awful. I have talked about how much I dislike this game in Twitch streams, in the YouTube video, in shorts. I don't know why. There is no place for this game in my heart. I do not like this game at all. It was so poorly made that it was such a stupid cash grab. It was disgusting. If you do have a kid who likes Bluey, I'm sure they would enjoy it, but if you're like trying to just play it as an adult to get your kid into gaming, it is such a bad pick because it is so uninteresting. The whole time I was playing it, I was thinking of my baby cousins, and I'm like, there is no way any of them would want to play this game. Because there's nothing happening. You run around and listen to dialogue, that's it. Like, you're watching a show, but it's worse than the TV show. And again, I have baby cousins. I've watched the TV show. I think the show is good. This game is not the show. It is bad. So Bluey gets its own Bluey spot at the bottom of the tier list, and that is where it will go. That is our acting F tier for today. We have another game that requires an asterisk, so we are going to put it in C tier as well, and that is The First Descendant. Now, this game, I still play to this day. I love the grind. I love the build crafting. I find it very fun. However, this is one of those games where, again, there is no true 100%. They're always adding stuff. There's no definite ending to the game. There's always more you can grind out. There's always better roles you can get. However, according to the achievement list, I have done everything required to get the Xbox 100%, which is what we're basing everything off of in this video. So I am including it on this list, but I will put it in C tier because it is definitely one of those games where you constantly grind and there really isn't an end. I don't think there's really a true completionist ending to it. However, it is a very fun game. If you're a fan of Warframe or Destiny 2 or other kind of build crafting games like that, I would recommend you try this and just see if you like it. They are about to add some more big updates for this game as well, so if you have tried it and kind of didn't like it, maybe come back because there will be some new cool content coming out. Our next one is going to be Totally Reliable Delivery Service. My head's kind of in the way. This game, I thought this game was a joke when I first started playing it, and it kind of was. It has a bunch of goofy ragdoll physics. You kind of run around this big world map, you deliver different presents, and you just kind of complete different objectives. It's a very simple game. There's a lot of different types of quests you can do. There's different vehicles you can drive, and again, you can play it with friends, which is probably why I had so much fun playing it. I did 100% the base game and get some of the DLC achievements needed for the true 100%. While I don't remember specifically what the DLC achievements were, I can tell you that the DLCs didn't really add much to the game, besides a couple fun areas and maybe a couple fun vehicles. I will say this game is definitely a good game to play with friends. However, if you are just playing it by yourself to 100% it, I'm gonna honestly say it probably goes in C tier, but we'll put it above Apex and First Descendant because it is an actual game you play through. There is an actual... I guess there's not an actual end to the game, but the achievements actually fit the game a lot better. There's deliver so many packages, discover secrets around the map, so overall, I'd say this is a safe pick to put in C tier. The next game we have is Townscaper, which I'm going to throw in D tier, but we will put it above Grim Idol. Now, the reason I'm throwing this in D tier is because this is my quickest 100%, and it literally took me like 20 minutes to do. This game does not have a lot of content in it, and it really just involves you building towns, but it's very simple. All the achievements are super simple as well. It's a very simple game. Like, it could be a mobile game. It is a mobile game. I'm actually almost positive. It's a very simple game. If you want some easy game score, play Townscaper. That's really all I can say about it. You just build towns and enjoy it. It's a peaceful game. Forager. Now, this is one of my first 100% I've ever done on Xbox, and Forager is a love-hate relationship because I love how the game Forager feels. I love how you progress. I love the content in it. However, the 100% had some of the dumbest achievements I have ever done, making it so stupidly challenging just because you had to automate everything. I kid you not, I was like letting my game just run for hours on end while I was like doing other stuff around my house. It is such a game where you just need to optimize money generation is pretty much the best way to say it. However, because the achievements were challenging and because the game was a fun little game to play, and it took hours to complete in a good way, I'm gonna put it in A tier, because I really did enjoy 100%ing Forager, even though I did find some of the achievements pretty annoying. Adventure Time Pirates of the Caribbean. I have a video on this on my channel as well, and this game, I would say, was a pretty solid game to play through. I had my doubts because it was an Adventure Time game. However, it held up pretty darn well. I think it definitely isn't enough to get an S, or maybe not even an A tier, but it definitely is going to get a B tier, because Adventure Time Pirates of the Caribbean is a very goofy RPG that takes place in the land of Ooo, which is where the TV show takes place, and it takes so many elements from the show and throws them into the game to just make a very funny and enjoyable experience. I also really like the RPG style of the game. You had the ability to level up all your characters and buy different upgrades, buy different loot from shops to give like potions or status effects, stuff like that. So overall, I thought it was a very fun RPG. I thought it fit the show very well, and for an Adventure Time game, I'd say it surprised me. So we're gonna put that in B tier as well. What Remains of Edith Finch? This was actually my first 100% I have ever done, and the story for this game was really, really good. I don't know necessarily how to describe it exactly, but it just, everything has such a symbolic feel to it, where you learn how everyone in the family unfortunately passed away. There's a bunch of different tragic stories that you play through, and you learn the secrets of the Edith Finch family. I think there is a lot of deep meanings to this game that I probably even missed some of them. However, even not knowing everything, I would still say the stuff I did pick up on was very impactful. I am going to put this one in B tier as well. I hate to say it, I think we'll move Beasts of Maravilla Island down to C, just because it's just such a simple game. Compared to some of these other games in B tier, it's hard to justify it being in B tier with them. Gotham Knights, hot take, goes in A tier. Man, I loved Gotham Knights. I know there was a lot of hate around this game. I played it a couple months after it was released, so I don't know if there was bugs that people were hating and I just missed, or if it was just the game itself, but I thoroughly enjoyed Gotham Knights. I played it with my buddy, and we went through the whole game together. All the campaign missions were fun, the combat felt good. I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very fun game to play, and for what it was, I thought it was worth it to play it as well. There was the different hero floors that you went through, I think they were called Heroic Assault floors. There was the Kelvin incident, there was all of these multiplayer modes you could play where you kind of just went through dungeon floors and got really powerful gear, upgraded your character, and went to the next difficulty, and I just loved doing it. I played as Robin through the whole game, and I thought it was so fun. He had like stealth abilities, he had a slingshot, I think it was, where you could launch like grenades. It was so goofy, but I loved it. It just had such a good feel to it. I don't know. I know there was a lot of hate around it. I personally enjoyed the game a lot. Now, the last game we are going to rank is called Ravenlock, and this game gets another S place because, oh my gosh, this game is so underrated. I feel like this is one of those indie games that nobody knows about, but it is so good if you do know about it. Ravenlock is a really cool story about a girl falling into a magical mirror when her family moves to a new house, and there you meet really cool creatures, you fight really neat looking bosses. The style of the game has such a good feel to it. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not pixelated, but it's not real life. Like, it looks pixelated, but it also has this, 3D feel to it. The combat in the game was very enjoyable. The characters in the game were so cool. The environments were great. Like, there are so many good things I could say about Ravenlock. The 100% wasn't a bad 100%. It wasn't too challenging. It wasn't too easy, though. And it just, the whole time I was playing Ravenlock, I was like, I am going to remember this game because it is just such a memorable game to play. There you have it. That is the 100% tier list for all my Xbox games so far. Let me know if you agree or disagree with this tier list, and also let me know what other games you would like to see me 100%. Make sure you check out the Twitch where I stream a lot of these 100%s, and also check out some of the other videos on the channel where you can see me going through some of these games and kind of learn a little bit more about why I rank them how I did. Anyways, I appreciate you all watching the video. God bless you all. You have a great day, and I will see you next time. Peace out, everybody.